I love the idea that we have the choice. And I think that's what makes us different, than a traditional religion, is that there's not somebody out here that chooses for you, that inside we have the choice of how we see life. And how we see life is how we create our life, our attitudes. So we're talking about the Beatitudes, and it is our attitude about life that creates life. Do you believe that? Do you believe that? Because I so believe that you get to choose how you proceed in your life and how everything turns out. It's up to you, up to every one of us. So I want to start off with this little story that kind of touches my heart, and it's about a little boy. And he's a baseball player. He's probably about 6 years old or 8 years old. I'll use my little grandson, he's 8 years old. And he goes out to this big old baseball field, and he says, "I'm the greatest hitter in the world." And he throws up the baseball, and then takes his bat, and he swings. And he goes, "Strike one," and he puts his head down. And he goes, "I'm the greatest hitter in the world." And he throws the ball up, and he bats it, and he goes, "Strike two." So he goes, "Okay, I'm the greatest hitter in the world." And he throws up the ball, and he hits it. "Strike three." He puts his head down, and he goes, "I'm the greatest pitcher in the world." See, I like that story because that's us. Now we have a choice, right? And now look at your lives. That's your story right there. All in one little incident of throwing up the ball. Are you somebody that looks at the faults? I didn't hit that ball. Do you berate yourself and find your faults with what you didn't do, or do you find the good in what you did? See, there's good in that, and that's what we're talking about. We're talking about that we are such blessings. We're this incredible light, and I'll tell you, I like what you said, Judy, because we can talk about it, and we talk about it all the time, but when we get it, when we really feel it, because that's the thing, is that we can talk about it up here, but until you let it move through you and it touches your heart, you feel it. You're electrified with the power of God. And that's how you create your life. See, you really don't create it with thought. I never believed that anyway, because I think a million things that I don't create. But when I feel it, when I really let that God self move down and I feel it, I create that way. I create so much love around me when I feel the love. If I just say I love you and I really don't, I don't create that. You know what I'm saying? But if I have that energy going back and forth and I really feel that energy, I create. And that's important for us to know, is that our feelings create. And so this little kid, I just love that. I just think that's the cutest little story, because the truth is that little kid was true to his soul. And I want to talk about what that means. True to myself. Because sometimes we say, "Oh, I've got to be true to myself." And I think we mean, I've got to be true to my ego. Right? And the truth is, true to yourself is not true to your ego. True to yourself is true to your soul, because you are your soul. And I want to talk about what that means. Martin Nepo, which I quote all the time, and I read his books, Judy, and I love all of his work. And he says, being true to whom you are is like carrying a candle in the center of your darkness. So he's talking about the soul, you guys. The soul is our piece of God. It's our spark of divinity, and it goes with us. A lot of traditions talk about souls differently. What I'm talking about here is that spark of divinity, that light, that candle that is within each and every one of us, that is who we really are. Goes from life to life. This personality comes and goes till the next time, right? And your soul stays with you. It's a light that you are. And when you're true to that, you come from something magnificent, and you create with that. So he says we need to be true to this light that's within us and be faithful to it. Just like we're faithful to a partner, we're faithful to the soul inside of us, that we make this sacred vow with ourselves and stay committed. And that's a hard thing to do, is stay committed. It's just like it would be to a spouse, A lot of you probably know that. My husband know that too. It's hard to be committed. But the truth is that when we get it, right, that we are one with that. And we walk with that. It changes our life. So the soul, I want to talk about that, because Deepak Chopra, he puts it the best way. What is your soul? And people come to us sometimes and they say, what is the soul? And for me, I think about it like, electricity. It's so powerful. I wrote this down, that the electricity through power lines has to be stepped down to your house, right, or to burn your house up. It has to be stepped down a little bit, it has to be adapted. Well, he says that the God energy is so humongous, it's magnificent, that we couldn't even see it because it's so beautiful. So it's stepped down into the soul, right? It's stepped down and it's adapted to human life. So we have this magnificence of God as a piece of us, as a soul. And that's what we're talking about here. So it's this soul energy that we create with love and wisdom and creativity. It's what we use. It's who we are, is this incredible soul. Now, in our culture, right, we're polarities. It's about duality. It's about this and that. It's about humanity. It's about divinity. It's about black and white and good and evil, right? It's about all that. The truth is that we're all of it. We're all of it. So when I'm talking about this beautiful, radiant soul, you're that. You're your divinity, but you're human too, right? And you've got some faults, and you've got some stuff going on. You've got some unskilled behavior. Our job is to get big enough to hold it all, to see it. And that's when we can come from this beautiful soul level, is when we can see it all. We can make this container of ours so much bigger. We hold it all. And I love the idea. There's a term in boating called marry, to marry. You know, it's about the ropes. If you're a boater, you know, and you take strands of ropes and you twine them together, and it makes it stronger. And I'm thinking about our divinity and our humanity and how we marry them, right? So within us, we have this rope, and the rope makes you stronger, right? And I'm talking about one strand being your divinity, God, the soul, and the other part being just our human. And as we intertwine them, we become stronger, because we have the strength and the courage to get through life. What I'm saying is that whatever you have going on in your life, if you're trying to do it without the soul level, without the God level, it just doesn't work the same way. It doesn't work the same way. When we call upon our soul and wrap it around our human and work with our personality, there isn't anything that we can't do. We're creative, we're wise, we're beautiful. We're all of it, we're expansive. We're stronger. And what we do is then we can hold everything. You know, here's the way I was thinking about it, is that, you know, when we have problems, we have challenges and all these things going on in our life, it's like we have a little glass of muddied water, right? And we become really muddied with this little water. But the minute that we go inside and we draw upon this beauty and we make ourselves bigger and bigger and bigger, it's like we take that little glass of water and we pour it into a big, huge lake. And we become bigger, and then the water, the little muddy water, dissolves, right? So if that little muddy water is our problems and our challenges and all the stuff that we have to deal with, right? And we make ourselves bigger, it dissolves in this big, beautiful, peaceful lake. And that's what we are. You know, if we can see ourselves as expanded beings, as these beautiful, you know, containers of God. And, you know, it sounds like a weird kind of metaphor, but it's what I do sometimes when life gets hard, is be able to go into meditation and see myself expand so that my problems become smaller. My God becomes bigger and my problems become smaller. This is the Easter month, you know, it's the month of renewal and the month of transformation. And so it's time for us, I think it's a good time for us to step into this soul energy and to really realize the truth of who we are, or how we be in the world. You know, it's a time to look at ourselves and to see maybe not what needs to be new, but what needs to be made new, if that makes sense, right? Because we already have it within us. So maybe there's things that in your life is starting to fade away. Maybe your passion, you know, that has been big for me. If I don't have passion, I don't have anything. I need a passion for life. And I do everything I can to keep that passion moving and going. This is the time of renewal. You know, it's smelling the flowers, of seeing the babies all around, of feeling it inside of you. Get your passion renewed for life, your joy for life renewed. That's what it's about. You know, it's so funny, you know, and you forget, first of all, you forget, right? I mean, you feel all this passion for life, and then something happens, and all of a sudden you forget, and you have to turn it around. So I've got to tell you the story before I close about Eden. He's my 8-year-old, and he had a play at school, right? And it's Old MacDonald or something, you know, and they all wore costumes. They had to wear these costumes. They were all animals. He was a pig, a pink pig. He's this pink pig. And so I took him to the play. And he was in the car, and we all in a hurry and everything, so I said, just grab your suit and you put it on in the car. So we got to this school, and he was putting it on in the car, and he was hurrying up, so he jumps out the car, and I'm halfway in there, and he comes out with this pig costume, and Alex was with me, his auntie, and he gets out and he's running, and all of a sudden we look at him, and we start laughing, and he's, what are you laughing at? Well, he had his pig costume turned around, and his little curly tail was in the front. And oh my God, we just lost it and we laughed, So anyway, I had to tell you that story because it just reminded me that we, like him, he jumped back into the car really quick and then he turned it around. We can turn ourselves around just as quickly as he did his big costume. And he was fast, He got in and he turned that thing right around. But when things happen to us, we can turn around and we can find our joy. We can find our soul. I was doing this talk on yesterday, and I was on the computer and I'm working really hard on it, and I'm writing and I'm researching some different things and I'm reading. And Lily, my 6-year-old little granddaughter, she walks in. I live with them, by the way. So she walks into my room and she goes, Grandma, can we dance? And to tell you the truth, I usually would get up and dance, and I just didn't want to because I was in the middle of doing something, but I did. Okay, so I said, okay, we'll go ahead and dance. So I put down my stuff, close my computer. She turns on this, she has this little piano thing that goes by itself, and she puts on the swing. And then I'm going, hey, that felt pretty good. So we get around and we're just like dancing around the tables and we're really dancing. And I'm laughing and smiling, and she looks at me, she goes, Grandma, I think that you like to dance more than you like to work. And I said, I think she's right. I think she's right. And that's what I'm calling you to do, is to look at your life, look at the routine in it, do something fresh, find something new, find what you love, transform, renew, and know, that's where you find the blessings, right? That's how we do it. We don't do it in the head while we're trying to figure out something. We feel it through our bodies. That's my invitation for all of us, is to be blessed, feel your blessing. You don't have to be blessed, you're blessed, right? You're beautiful, you're blessed, you're magnificent. Feel it, dance. Thank you.